Alright, let's be totally honest about it. Let's get this shit up right, yeah? Let's get it set up. Alright, yes, we are on our way to the new base at the Urian Station. There we go, get in there. Listening to Hard Bastard. Playing Eve. Had to... Oh, and Schenkweger is being super accurate, right? Right? Yeah, of course. Of course they're being accurate. I just want to make sure to look this up again. Because I just want to make sure of this. So let's... I'm gonna mute this. Because now it's... that Trump was holding up all this aid. And that there's email. Ooh, emails. Ooh, oh, FOIA. Oh, damn, FOIA, son. Oh, shit, we got, like, one time we busted one FOIA that has some newsworthiness to it. Where Judicial Watch is, like, finding, like, you know, all kinds of shit left and right, you know, is, like, we're connecting stuff all the way back to the assassination of Kennedy, the Bay of Pigs, Jimmy Hoffa. We're fine. I just love now, actually, the world of political investigation. Because so much stuff was actually in some way tied to people now who, in some way, shape, or form, their involvement with one or another person in the government has made it clear, oh, you were stationed here doing this. Because of the FOIA, it turns out we found out you were also working for the CIA. So once we start looking up where you might have gotten your teeth cut in the CIA, we find that you're related to this person a generation ago. They were your rabbi. Oh! So you are a part of this whole group of people who are in some way, shape, or form involved in the Bay of Pigs. And because an operation is an operation and stays in operation until it just becomes a part of a new operation, you are a part of this line of dirty money, drugs, you know, people doing horrible things to other people, you know, and so we're finding out now, like, oh, this is why there's so many people who speak Farsi. That they love Obama. They cannot wait. They love brushing his hair. They love brushing the fucking lint off his jacket. Obama's this precious, sparkling, magic Negro, and why? Who knows? Apparently, he's real special in Farsi. Because he's surrounded by Farsi speakers, and that we had this guy whose dad lived in Iran, was a CIA agent there. Turns out he's a CIA agent and an FBI agent. Peter Strzok speaks Farsi fluently, of all the languages he would speak fluently, being supposedly an FBI agent who turns out as a CIA agent. And so it's just kind of fascinating that it's like, oh, that's so weird because your dad was in the same business. And this is just so odd, you know. And so all these investigations and FOIAs have been helping tremendously for a lot of people who are generally conservative to move to the right. Because there's no way around it. They're suddenly realizing, like, no, this aspect of our national policy has gotten totally out of control. And without all these vice-ridden nut jobs and weird, mysterious foreigners like Cenk Uyghur, these people who don't seem to like America very much, but they're not really that American, really. And so it's kind of like, well, why don't you go home then? And, oh, that's racist. And it's like, no, really. Why don't you go to wherever you're from that all the shit you want is already there? Because, motherfucker, you have all kinds of problems with normal, inalienable rights in this country. And of course, that's why, you know, a lot of people figure that Cenk Uygur is actually just a real cheap propagandist, that, you know, liquor store owner kind of propagandist. I want to just look up again something that it, because if it turns out this isn't around anymore. What was that? Oh shit! Now I got some message. Okay, I just want to see real quick. Okay, so let's see here. There we go. In 2018, the U.S. House of Representatives passed a provision blocking any training of Azov members by American forces, citing its neo-Nazi background in previous years. Between 2014 and 2017, the House of Representatives passed amendments banning support of Azov, but due to pressure from the Pentagon link, the amendments were quietly lifted. Whole bunch of citations. This move has been protested by Simon Wiesenthal Center link, which stated that the move highlights danger of Holocaust distortion in Ukraine. On the 26th June 2015, the Canadian Defense Minister declared as well that training by Canadian forces or support would not be provided to Azov, while Azov Battalion troops have denied that the organization has any neo-Nazi or white supremacist beliefs. Journalists stated that, quote, numerous swastika tattoos of different members and their tendency to go into battle with swastikas or SS insignias drawn on their helmets make it very difficult for other members of the group to plausibly deny any neo-Nazi affiliations. And I just want to make sure that they go through all this stuff. This is under the symbol section of this. There's more than ample evidence that the Azov Battalion linked to the right sector was fundamentally a type of an organization that was basing its entire style and imagery in the current neo-Nazi fashion and basing it on the Banderite era and the Ukrainian national government that was toppled by the communists. So what this is that this is an extension of a Cold War operation. This is the key. We recruited a bunch of people from Ukraine. A lot of them lived in Canada, it turns out. That's what I recently was trying to find, because my phone doesn't get Twitter now. So sorry, Waterpenny. I'm going to look up. I think you were the one who sent me something about Ukrainians in Canada, and that we basically had put Ukrainians in Canada and we had Ukrainians here. A lot of these people's names got respelled so that they could not be linked back to governments, what Nazi aligned government in Ukraine. There's also some link to this in the with Albania, and that so the whole Kosovo, Albania, all of that, and us getting involved in that with Clinton, that all has to do with these operations of recruiting these people after the war, at the very end of World War II, and taking them in so that they would fight against the communists at some point. They would use their influence in the area and their assets and their knowledge. And especially key to this is their ability to read both Russian, to read Russian, German, very likely, and to also be able to read their own language as it was written at the time, which would not have been normal. I don't even think like Latvian was written down yet by the 1950s. That was all done under communism, if I remember correctly. People might think that that's totally insane. No. Black Americans in the 1950s had a higher literacy rate in the language they were speaking than a lot of people in Eastern Europe across the pale. They could not speak the language and then write it down as that language. They knew some people would be literate in German but could speak a bunch of could speak 2 or 3 languages. This is the thing, because of Germany's control over the area, or German control over the area, cultural dominance over the area for so long. Okay, so this is what the whole deal is about hiding this information. This is a big deal, and people have been sending me all kinds of other stuff about other, like Macedonia. I started looking into the Macedonia thing. Thank you very much. There's so much going on in Macedonia, and I believe Croatia as well, with how migrants can get into Europe, and like the easy way that, oh damn it, well, good thing I was in base. I'm in base, so can't get pwned. Finally got pwned by a player. I was butthurt. I was very butthurt. I had a full load of Kernite or some Kernite, right? And I was like, oh, could you kind of just got me halfway through? Just I mean, come on, man. But that is Eve. SOS Eve. SOS Eve. But that's what this is really this thing. So you could still find this in Wikipedia. The funding was being restricted by Congress because they had to make sure the neo-Nazi brigade that you could find on YouTube, you could find them with GoPros on their weapons clearing out the Donbass of civilians. No one wants to discuss this. There's a reason also why the Republicans won't discuss it. Because a bunch of them were also making a little bit of money off this. A lot of these guys who have been never Trump and now are at the stage where they're like, we're totally down with the plan, Trump. It's cool, right? Yeah, we're not gonna let the impeachment go on. Oh, you want lots of testimony? Down with the plan, bro. You know, like they're getting real fucking nervous because a lot of it, all you got to do is get a person to just say enough. That's one more line of inquiry you could go down, because now it's an official record. It's official testimony. So if people say the right or wrong thing, you can end up oh, wait a second. So why was that person at the meeting? This random, one of the many. Why was that person involved? And from the office of blah, blah, blah. Well, that's it. You start looking it up, because everything about government secrets they're not really secrets. They're just filed in a weird way. Such as James Comey's name being misspelled over and over and over again in a bunch of official documents having to do with this case against Donald Trump, and all the cases against Donald Trump. There's all this information that's not that secret. It's just the names are spelled. His name is spelled wrong. Just happened to be spelled wrong. Somehow. Yeah. So, I just wanted to put it out there. This hasn't been memory hold. They can't memory hold this. Both the left and the right hate this. Now, here's the best part about it. The cherry on top of it all that most of you who already watch me already know. Cherry on top. Cenk Uyghur and all these people who hate Trump. They hate Nazis, right? They really don't like Nazis. Really don't like the white supremes. Well, in that article it says a bunch of American white supremes were in this organization. Got arrested for being in it. Have any of you heard anybody mention that? The dangerous white supreme paramilitary that recruited Americans, that Americans were over there fighting, got caught. I mean, it's so odd. It's like you would think that this would be a real big concern. You'd think it would be a big concern of all of these big brain people. I mean, you would think Ben Shapiro would be talking about this on every episode. Maybe people should ask him about it. What do you think about the Simon Wiesenthal Center's problems with Ukraine? Well, what do you mean, Simon? I am not aware of Simon Wiesenthal Center. What do you, in relation to what? It's so odd he's not asking this question. Lee Stranahan knows about this. Other people I've seen, they seem to all know about this. They know something about it. I mean, Vice News interviewed the Azov Battalion and went to one of their youth summer camps. What? It's just sort of like Ukraine. Why? It's so weird because you look up Ukraine and you look up neo-Nazis and you find lots of articles have been printed about it. It's like nobody really wants to talk about. They don't really want to make very clear what's going on there. What did go on there? That George Soros bragged about helping the Maidan. That he bragged that the Open Society Foundation showed a victory in their methods and their ideology of opening up societies to democracy. And the Maidan was a reflection of that. Magnificent. These people not just touched the tar baby, not just were like, tar baby, let me sit on your lap. They literally have been, they embraced it and gave it a kiss. They like rubbed their face and they were like, I love you, tar baby. And how nobody's talking about, why are all these people stuck to Ukraine? Why are these people glued to Ukraine? And so something I found out, and I've got to find it again, it might be that the Donbass, that the Azov Battalion, this is where it's another cherry on top, and this is probably where the Republicans come in, that they were going to frack that area. But they were going to have to bring in American specialists. You know, got to bring in some of our people who specialize in hydraulic fracturing. So they were going to frack Ukraine. A place where people like lived, already were living. They were going to frack that. So they cleared out all these civilians through, the civil strife. And so supposedly Russia's the bad guy in this. Somehow Russia's the bad guy. And so I just love that now, and all it is that you have, oh, look, there he is, Blackham Nance, Malcolm Nance, Blackham Nance, that was great, Black Man Nance, the black guy. No, it's like, all you got to do, and Joy Reid, yeah, all you got to do is have the right blacks. Some really black people. And then Ukraine has nothing to do with neo-Nazis in a well-recorded history of this, recorded by... was it Fort Rus, Radio Free Europe, and Vice News. So you're not even looking at people who you can look askance at what they've written as, oh, this is definitely propaganda. It's beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. And no one can talk about it. Even, like, what really gets me, too, is people who you would think at some point they would connect these things. That they have to know about these neo-Nazi brigades. They have to have known. They're just too knowledgeable about too much news. But somehow they're not, like, putting together, like, that was during this administration. Biden was there over a dozen times. The Ukraine was a 2-year thing during the Obama administration, if I remember correctly. It's like the last 2 years. No, we hear what Victoria Nuland has to say. We are now getting some information about up to 45 billion somehow in loans has gone to Ukraine and all vanished. We have no idea what it's gone to or what it's done. Their main, I think it's their fundamental, like, central bank or Bank of Kiev or something got raided. because of money laundering and corruption, and that was like only like maybe about 2-3 months ago. So I'm just kind of loving that, like, nobody's putting together, like, no, a group of super nuttos was, you know, doing their nutty thing while they were trying to loot the country. Oh, you know, like super nuttos in this country called Syria were getting their thing on, and so an attempt was made to loot it, but then it failed because Russia came in and said, "Oh no, that's so not happening, bro." And the Marines were like, "Obama, you could sit on these and spin." You know, and that is what happened. The Marines said, no, we're not having shit to do with these jihadis. And so I'm just now at the stage of loving that everyone's dancing around the neo-Nazis that Trump would not fund. And nobody on the left will mention. The best part about no one on the left wants to talk about the Americans caught there, arrested by the federal government in a neo-Nazi paramilitary brigade that is still in operation just under supposedly official rules and official thing, but it's its own unit, it's its own section. It has its own base, according to that article in Wikipedia. It's all right there, so it's even on Wikipedia. So it's not like it's on, like, Info Galactic or something where somebody, oh, it's, you know, it's Vox Day's super Nazi encyclopedia. It's not on, like, you know, Nazipedia or something, you know, right-wingpedia, you know, it's on Wikipedia. So they can alter it all they want and shine it up. Shine Obama's shoes. Shine those fucking shoes, you white liberals. Shine his fucking shoes. You know, you feel the guilt. The guilt goes away. You can see your face. You can finally look at yourself in his patent leather purple shoes, his purple gaiters. You can see your own face in those gaiters now. So yeah, later on.